Good day, everybody. My name is Ritzmond Estor. I am a Master of Arts in English Language Teaching student from PUP Graduate School, and today I will be conducting my demonstration teaching. Please bear with me as this is my first time conducting a demo teaching since I started taking my master's degree, and also I don't have any teaching experience yet. Before I proceed with my presentation, allow me to give you a brief background about public communication. Public communication is the process of speaking to a group of people in a structured, deliberate manner intended to inform or entertain the listeners. Public communication is audience centered. It invokes and implores critical thinking, it requires ethics, and it is an empowering activity. Also, it is done on certain occasions in the presence of several people, invited or not, as the audience. Some speech settings are private in form, which means they are intended only for a particular group of people. But I will not dwell about public communication. Instead, I will be discussing about public speaking. What is public speaking? Public speaking, also called oratory or oration, is giving speech face to face to live audience. However, due to the evolution of public speaking, it is modernly viewed as any form of speaking, formally and informally, between an audience and the speaker. Traditionally, public speaking was considered to be a part of the art of persuasion. The act can accomplish particular purposes, including to inform, to persuade, and to entertain. Additionally, differing methods, structures, and rules can be utilized according to the speaking situation. Did you know that public speaking was developed in Rome and Greece? Prominent thinkers from these lands influenced the development and evolutionary history of public speaking. Currently, technology continues to transform the art of public speaking through newly available technologies such as video conferencing, multimedia presentation, and other non-traditional forms. Let's jump to the importance or the significance of public speaking. First is it helps to make us more comfortable around other people, including strangers. Once we are capable of greeting and addressing an entire room full of strangers, or at least most of them strangers, it will be much easier for us to smile and shake hands and meet new individuals in more personal and less threatening circumstances. Next is that it will help enhance our everyday verbal and nonverbal communication skills. This is especially true for people who spend a great deal of time working with the written word and have forgotten how to properly vocalize best their messages to get their point across. Next is at some point, at some point we will be in or we will be required to speak in public. Accepting this fact quickly and preparing for it accordingly will help us wind up step ahead will help us wind up a step ahead of our competition at work, at home, and around town. Next is to have proficiency in communication skills and to be able to speak in public with ease and confidence will give us a competitive edge in all fields of endeavor. Lastly, being a good public speaker will make us more appealing and convincing. We can move others to action and bridge gaps in understanding and cooperation. Now, we will go to the type of speeches. Speeches are classified into three big groups according to purpose, according to preparation and manner of delivery, and according to occasion. First is according to purpose. There are five kinds of speech according to purpose. First is the informative speech. The purpose of an informative speech is to provide the audience with information after listening to the speech. The audience is expected to gain something new or some new knowledge. And for example, an example of an informative speech is a teacher giving lecture to the class and student making an oral report. This thing that I'm doing right now is a kind of informative speech. The following tips are effective for informative speaking. The first is that do not cram too much information. Do not cram or put too much information into your speech or you will lose audience. You must remember to keep it simple. Next is be careful not to include information your audience does not understand. Avoid using terms that all or some of the audience will not recognize. If you do not if you do not use unfamiliar terms or if you do use unfamiliar terms, be sure to define them very clearly. So, before you make an informative speech, you must know your audience. Next is the argumentative speech. An argumentative speech is the first part of persuasive public speaking. In an argumentative speech, you lay down facts and your personal opinion, judgment, or ideas about the controversial and current issue, problem, value, or dispute. For instance, the speeches in a debate and argumentative speeches. Both the affirmative and the negative sides present their arguments to make the audience believe in what they are saying and take their side. Argumentative speech deals Argumentative speeches deal with with a controversial topic which may be political, social, business, and religious. The following are some argumentative speech topics to start with. I'll just give you an example, like education, smoking, or women in the military, or the current issues like the COVID-19 or how to handle properly the COVID-19 pandemic. An argumentative speech may use any of the three major types of appeal. First is to appeal to reason. The argument should appeal to rational intellect by finding a common ground to enable the audience to fully understand topics and arguments at hand. Next is to appeal to emotions. The argument should anticipate the ethical, religious, social, or political beliefs and feelings of the audience. And lastly, appeal to character. The argument should appeal to the sense of right and wrong, justice and fair play. The listener is molded or made to identify himself with the traits and acknowledge that is exactly how he feels or how the listener feels. Next is the persuasive speech. A persuasive speech is a step further than the argumentative speech. It aims to change not only people's mind, but also their behavior about something. To be truly effective, you need to actually present your argument in a reasonable, eloquent way and get the audience to change their minds argumentative and ultimately act the way they are led to persuasive. The tips to remember on making a persuasive speech is that or are deliver your speech with passion. No one is going to be convinced unless you show that you are involved. Next is look for a common ground with the people in your audience who disagree with you. Show them that you are on the other side while presenting and pushing your own arguments. Next is do not choose an impossible task. Suggest a beneficial, necessary, and doable proposition on the issue they might usually take. For example, asking the audience to join an organization against global warming, like the Greenpeace or Save Mother Earth movement. Next is convince your audience to take specific action. one that they might actually take. For example, when asking the audience to join an organization against global warming, such as the Greenpeace organization, they may not be moved. So you can ask them. So instead, you can ask them to segregate biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste at home, and they might comply. Next is entertaining speech. Entertaining speech seems to amuse and delight people. It offers lighter moments to them to make them run away from the usual humdrums of everyday life. And there are many ways to write and develop a topic for a speech to be entertained for a speech to be entertaining. Ways like give personal space or give a dramatic twist to a normal issue, perform dialogues in metaphors, tell a story about personal experience, and interrelate the humorous anecdote to the main theme. Or you can make fun of or make jokes about large organization or institution or even people, but do not offend them. Next is inspirational speech, and this is the last kind of speech according to purpose. Generally, an inspirational speech is a way to stir up people's higher order values and plant positive and valid ideas in life. It should not instill the desire to pursue major goals and reveal hidden potentials among the listeners. And that is all according to purpose. Now we will go to according to preparation and manner of delivery type of speeches. There are four kinds of speeches based on the manner of preparation and delivery, and they are the impromptu, extemporaneous, memorized, and manuscript. This first one is the impromptu. This speech is delivered on the spot with no preparation at all. For instance, impromptu speeches is delivered when you are asked to give a message to a party like a farewell party or a surprise party. Next is extemporaneous speech. Extemporaneous speech is a speech with preparation. You may deliver it with an outline or some notes. This kind of speech is usually used when you speak persuasively or informatively about current events and politics. You must be prepared. Next is the memorized speech. This speech, which is recited from memory, is advantageous to beginners like you because it gives you a sense of confidence as you can deliver the speech exactly like the way you wrote it and rehearsed it. However, memorized speaking has its, has its disadvantages. You may lack sincerity and eye contact with the audience, and you are likely to forget some parts of your speech, resulting in breaking your train of thought and embarrassing you. And occasions like presentation of awards, welcoming remarks for a foreign dignitaries, academic contests like oratorical speaking contest and eulogies are some situations that memorized speech is used. Next is the manuscript. A read speech or a manuscript speech is a speech presented with very exact wordings, like policies, contracts, and scientific reports. They are they are examples of manuscript speech. The speech is written carefully, word for word, and read to the audience. And that's all for the according to preparation and manner of delivery. Now we will jump to type of speeches according to occasion. Speeches may be classified according to occasion, and type speeches according to type or according to occasions are speech of introduction, presentation speech, acceptance speech, and welcome speech. A speech of introduction is a speech which introduces a person, organizations, or product. or even a program. Points to remember on making a speech of introduction are: balance the length of introduction paragraph with the total speech length. Avoid broad, sweeping, and too general statements. Next is be clear, direct, and straightforward in your speech. Next is the presentation speech. A presentation speech is used for presenting an award, a prize, or a gift. Points to remember on making a presentation speech are: refer to the occasion by telling why you are there and why it is a special day. Next is explain briefly what the word represents and describe the following: symbol, goal, categories, history, and previous winner or winners. Describe the organization you are representing and explain why you are privileged to present the award. Next is offer personal thoughts, experiences, and feelings about the award. And lastly is praise the recipient by citing relevant, outstanding contributions, achievements, or records and adapt them in the goals and meaning of that certain of or that special occasion. Third is the acceptance speech. An acceptance speech is delivered when receiving a prize, honor, or a gift at an awards ceremony. And this is a reply to a presentation speech. Points to remember about the acceptance speech or on making acceptance speech are: graciously acknowledge the award, prize, honor, or gift and express with gratitude. Thank the organization or hosting company for the award. Give generous credit to all those who have contributed to your success. Mention their names if they are few, otherwise, mention only the most relevant. Lastly, is express your feelings and emotions without or about being honored in one or short sentences. Keep it short and simple. Last is the welcome speech. The goal of the welcome address is to receive and greet the audience. The main difference between the speech, this speech and the speech of introduction is that this kind of speech focuses on the audience, not on the upcoming guest speaker, which is the focus of the speech of introduction. Points to remember on making a welcome speech is: first, try to be brief and sincere and make your audience feel very comfortable. Next is to thank everybody for coming, make a special welcome, and also make a special welcome to the special guests. Next is mention achievements of the special guests and pay tribute to their success. Refer to the occasion and mention the goals of the event. Link the event with the accomplishment of the special guest. Offer some kind of friendship by repeating your warm words or say you hope that they feel at home and thank them for participating. And the rule of thumb for this kind of speech is keep your speech short, simple, and genuine. And I will be presenting you before I give you your activity for today. I will present you an example of a speech. This is from the speech of Martin Luther King Jr.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
That is a speech called or entitled I Have a Dream, and it is performed by no other than Martin Luther King Jr. And for today's activity, you must choose a topic on the list that I will provide you later, prepare a speech about the chosen topic, and also enough time will be given. Deliver your own speech in front of the class. And these are the topics that I will be that you can choose from. First is the COVID-19. Next is cyberbullying or modern technology. Next is the LGBTQ community. Next is the your pets or animals. And lastly, racism. I have given you this type of activity because the objective of this activity is to practice your listening skills because you can watch videos or example videos of speeches and to also practice your speaking since this is a public speaking topic. Next is reading. Next is to practice also your writing skills because you will write your own speeches. And lastly, your grammar and your vocabulary. I will be giving you enough time for you to prepare your speeches and you will perform it one by one in front of the class. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have learned things about public speaking and public communication.